ideas in progress to arrive today to show MRP 3D view using 3D models in GLTF format. First presentation at Odoo Experience 2017 was with Odoo 10. At Odoo Experience 2020, we presented a stock 3D dashboard to visualize multi-warehouse locations. We developed a JavaScript-based view using three.js. As you can see in the slide, you can set a colored tag to identify, as example, the index rotation. From the pickings or back pickings, you can locate where are the products, and from the warehouse visualize with one click empty or full locations. At Odoo Experience 2020, we also presented the web widget model viewer to store and visualize 3D products in GLTF format. 3D model are stored in the GLB binary format and is based on Google Model Viewer. In the backend, you can upload the 3D model and then interact in the front end you can use for the e-commerce. If you open the Odoo App Store and fill openindustry.it in the search bar, you can find our 3D apps. Stock 3D View, Model Viewer, Poncad to import in Odoo Autodesk 3D scaffolding, as example, all in version 12, 13 and 14. Now I want to introduce three.js, the standard de facto JavaScript library for 3D. Current version is 132 at 26th of August, and the development started in 2013. All code is open source and you can find in GitHub, the link in the slide. The three.js.org website is a mosaic of web pages developed using three.js, arts, furniture, bicycles, cars. You can open this website, and as you can see, you find a lot of links. This is the bicycle, this is the car, but also furniture and any kind of website. This car is the Italian Maserati brand, and there is a configurator where you can choose the color of the car, so you can click and visualize the new color of the car. Also inside you can change the finish. Okay, come back. Three.js is well documented, so you can find the basic information to make the first website, and there is a lot of example. Now this is a 3D model, human 3D model. And also there is model for animation. You can do many kind of arts work. And there is also a book where you can find some nice models. And also there is a course to learn how to develop using three.js. There's a lot of lessons you can follow to learn three.js. So now I want to talk about Google Model Viewer. This project started in 2018. It used three.js to render 3D GLTF model in websites. Last version is 1.8 and realized the 10th of August this year. It's open source in GitHub, this also. You can open the modelviewer.dev where you can find the astronaut mascot. This is the website. And this is the mascot. And And there is also a link to an editor where you can drag and drop a GLB model. In this case, we put a chair, Barcelona chair, where you can interact, changing, as example, the color in many different so this is Google, and in the link you can find in GitHub all the source of this code. Blender is the best toolset for 3D. All open source, we use it for import from OBJ, STL, FBX, DXF, and export to GLTF or GLB, the binary format. We decided to use this format because it's optimized to fast open and render. The developer of this open format is Chronos.org, and they say it will be the standard as JPEG for the photos or MP3 for audios. In the Chronos website there is a lot of material where you can set the structure of the file, JSON file for the structure, and binary information, PNG, JPEG info. There is a big ecosystem of many players, important players. So now for Odoo Experience 2021, we add new features for the stock 3D view, the location 3D shapes. Normal location are parallelepiped. If you need to define new shapes, you can store in shape model and link the location with the different shapes for Odoo 12, 13 and 14. But now I'm proud to present the 3D view dashboard to visualize in real time for each factory the workcenter status. We can define one or more factories, each with a map and a dimension in millimeters. Then we can link each workcenter to a factory, and we define the position and size in the factory map. Optionally, we can store a 3D model in GLB format. The refresh of workcenter status is each 5 seconds, but you can modify in the settings. Well, the new MRP factory model is a planimetry image in JPEG or PNG format and XYZ dimension in millimeters. The extended MRP workcenter model set the dimension and the position in millimeters, and instead the rotation is in degrees. You can also set a scale factor and optionally store and visualize in 3D the model to render. So the 3D dashboard uses colors to visualize workcenter status, like a semaphore. Red means blocked, yellow means waiting to start, and green is working. So after this short presentation, now with Loris Tessino, we will show you a demo of the MRP 3D view.
Hi, my name is Loris Tessino, and I'm going to show you how the 3D representation of the manufacturing environment in Odoo works with the module that we developed. The manufacturing environment in Odoo is based on factories and work centers. The factories are the areas that host work centers. Here in this demo we have two factories, factory 1 and factory 2, and you can manage as many factories as you want, of course. For each factory you have to define the dimensions of the factory with depth, width and height, and you can upload a planimetry image, sort of a blueprint of the ground of the factory. So here you can go to edit and define these numbers here, and I can upload the image of the ground of the factory. You can load an ordinary PNG file or JPEG file as planimetry here. A work center is a machine that is used in a factory to prepare, assemble or finish a product or an assembly. Here we have a list of 6 work centers. For each work center you can define in the 3D tab the position of the work center in the factory and the size of a virtual carpet that is used to represent the state of the machine. Also, you can upload a file in GLTF format that represents the shape of the work center. You can find different files of this kind on the internet, or you can just use a file that you edited with Blender or three.js editor or whatever. So just to show you, this was quite simple Blender rendered work center. This is something a bit more complex, and here we have a very simple work center shape made with the three.js editor. Anyway, once you are done defining the position and the size of the virtual carpet for the work center, you can just have a look in the 3D view at the position of the work center in your 3D representation of the factory. So if I want to go to this one, I can just click here and see the work center in the 3D view of the factory. Sorry. The three.js editor is a tool available for free online that allows you to define some shapes that can be used to represent a work center in Odoo. So let's just add a box like that. You can move the box, or you can define a different geometry, like for instance you can make it higher, and you can define the color. Okay, so now we have a box like that. You can add another box, or you can clone this one. Okay, now we have 2 boxes like that, and you can add different shapes, like for instance a cylinder, for which you can define the radius on the top and on the bottom, like that. Okay, so now we can put it here on the top of this. Okay. Hey, we have a shape like that, and you can define the number of segments to have a better representation. So like that, we have this kind of representation of a kind of table, let's say, or something. And once you have this kind of shape, you can add a group, and you can put the different things inside the group. So that. Okay, like that. Okay, so now you have a group containing the cylinder and two boxes. And once you have the group, you can just export the file, the shape, in a GLTF or GLB binary format file. And that's all. Quite easy to do. Once you are done with the definitions of all the work centers, you can have a look at the whole lot of work centers in the factories. So we added a 3D view to the standard views that Odoo has. Like you have the list view, the Kanban view, and you have the 3D view here. In the 3D view, you can see that the factory is loaded with the ground that you decided for the factory, and there are the factories that belong to the work centers, sorry, that belong to the factory. For each work center, you have a virtual carpet that shows you the state, the actual state of the work center. You can go full screen if you need to, and even more full screen, like that, complete full screen. And you can double click on a virtual carpet to find to get information about the work center you're looking at. You can switch from one factory to the other with this menu. So when you change, you have a different factory loaded. You can see the different machines. You can zoom in and zoom out with the central scroll wheel of the mouse, and you can drag with the by right clicking on the mouse, and you can move it, move the scene with the left click on the mouse. So here is the standard 3D representation movement. In the settings of the module, you can set a refresh period in seconds that is used to reload the 3D representation. So if I say that I want a refresh every 20 seconds, and I have here a 3D representation in this tab, then I will reload this 3D representation because I just changed the settings. And now what happens is that if I go to the work orders, see, now I have this in this tab I have the 3D representation that reloads every 20 seconds. So let's wait until it goes to 0, and then it reloads. But now nothing changed actually. So I will go here to the to another tab, and I will start the machine. I go here, and the machine has still the yellow carpet, but now when I wait until 0, the yellow carpet will change to green actually. So here I can block the machine, saying that for instance I had an equipment failure for something went wrong. Let's say like that. So this machine is blocked. I can go here and wait until the countdown goes to 0, and I will have it reloaded. So it's up to you to decide how frequent should be these reloading. That's all for this demo. Thank you for your attention and your interest, and I hope it was useful. And now I will be here with Andrea to answer your questions.
So thank you for your attention. If you find these topics interesting and you think they might be useful, we are Andrea and Loris, and you can find our emails to ask for help, discuss the use, or deepen for new features. Our future development are, first of all, migration to version 15. But also we want to extend MRP 3D view to visualize the actual work order and the list of the new ones, and link workcenter to use webcam. Do you have other ideas? Mail it to us. Ciao ciao!
All right, Andrea, thank you so much for that compelling talk. So interesting, and 3D modeling is something naturally is the wave of the future. So before we get to the questions, I want to learn more a little bit about your background. What was your motivation for starting this application, and just give us a little bit more of the background behind it.
Well, ciao a tutti. I started to work with furniture makers, and everybody wants to use 3D modeling to buy a kitchen or a living room. So you need to visualize your project, your environment. So my specialization was in convert 3D model to an ERP. But with Odoo, there is a magic view that with Loris we developed, that is the 3.js view. So you can model a warehouse that we presented the first version in with Odoo 10 in 1917. And this was for us magic to with the Davide Corio and other to develop. And now last year we integrated, but now you can view in the same with only installing the app. You have a 3D visualizer, so it's very magic for me, Odoo, in JavaScript and everything of this.
That's wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and start asking questions from the audience. The first one we have is from Lee Boucher. Now, is it possible to load these GLB files as an additional image to a product and have them appear in the thumbnail list on the product detail page and interact when selected?
So you can, for now, you can visualize and you can interact, moving, zooming, but just now you cannot configure, as example, the colors. We can work in this way to put some properties that you can change with Odoo, but not right now.
Okay, good to know. Let's go ahead and ask Nathan Roy. Do you have any complex examples to show us in the real world?
What means complex example?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's, I mean, moving away.
Let's say that 3.js is very, very powerful. There is, it's like Blender. You can visualize millions of parts. You need a local PC that has a graphical motherboard, and you need hardware. This is powerful, but so the database, the server is not engaged, but you need a good PC. If you use a small model, you don't need it.
Got it.
In fact, you can use all our application also in a mobile phone or in a tablet. You can visualize everywhere now.
Andrea, I wish we could spend more time together. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We still had some questions on the chat that we were not able to attend to. However, you can find the 3D visualization or the 3D model app on the Odoo App Store. So go check it out. Thank you again, gentlemen, for being here. Thank you for the work that you do. And again, thanks to all of our Odoo community members across the world. Have a great afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you again. Grazie a tutti.
Thank you.
Ciao.